On tap, Saison-Brett.
Better beer authority, better beer.
Hi, I'm Mark Nishu, and this is your Better Beer Authority. On tap today is one of my favorite shelf beers for the summer, Boulevard Saison-Brett. Boulevard Brewery was founded in 1998 when John McDonald started construction of the brewery in the turn-of-the-century brick building in the historic Southwest Boulevard of Kansas City, Missouri. A vintage Bavarian-style brewhouse was then installed, and first batches of German-style beer were produced in the fall of 1989. They later recruited Belgian-born brewer Stephen Pauwels, who started to combine Belgian yeast and American hops to create their now classic hoppy farmhouse ale, Tank 7, and shortly thereafter, Saison-Brett. Saison-Brett is fermented with the same Saison yeast strain as Tank 7, but is then aggressively dry hopped with Amarillo for a distinctly Pacific Northwest hop aroma, and finally bottle conditioned with Brettanomyces. Saison-Brett clocks in at 38 IBUs and 7.5 ABVs. Let's see what the guys think about it. All right, unleash the blind tasting. Rich, can you describe the appearance and the aroma for us?
I sure can. The appearance is actually really awesome, kind of bright yellow color, and the head just is floating on top beautifully. And it's a hazy beer.
Definitely unfiltered.
Yeah, definitely unfiltered. You can't see through it, but it's actually pretty. It's gorgeous beer. The aroma. I'm getting some fruity notes in there, like a kiwi or something.
Okay.
That don't. I mean, they're kind of fruity, but they don't put off a big smell. I mean, there's no fruits in here, I don't think. But it's pretty nice. Actually, there's almost a freshness smell in it that I like.
Would you describe the aroma as tropical at all?
Not really. It sounds kind of weird. Just, it's fruity, but not really. Like, it's not taking me to the islands.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to the islands today.
Oh.
Okay, Brian, how about the flavor? And if you could comment on whether you think it matches the aroma for you, and then approximately guess for IBU.
Yeah, for as far as the taste, I feel like it tastes like it smells. But I think I think one of these few shows ago we talked about where the palate, how it you get tricked by the smell translating to what it tastes like. And I feel in this case, this is like your palate when you're tasting it, you still get that smell, and it's like tricking you. Like it smells to me like a Saison like a funky farmhouse ale.
Okay.
And so there's kind of underlying that Rich was saying kind of some citrusiness to it or some fruitiness. I feel like there's like almost like a lemony quality that's just underlying it, but for the most part it's that funkiness. It's that just kind of what you get from a farmhouse style ale.
Okay, good. And how about IBUs?
IBUs I'd say about high 20s, 30s, low 30s.
Okay, good. So not overpoweringly bitter.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And finally, Andrew, what style do you think this is? And as a bit of a lead here, do you think there is any other yeast in here besides typical Saccharomyces cerevisiae that's responsible for fermentation?
I think I agree with what Brian was mentioning. This definitely lends towards more of a Saison style beer. I don't think there's anything like a souring agent because there's really not a sour flavor to this. Now, yeast-wise, I would imagine, especially yours, because you haven't touched yours yet.
Yeah.
You've got a head on that thing that just won't go away.
Sure.
This thing has to be bottle conditioned. At least I would imagine so. Especially, I do see if you hold it up, there's a little, like tiny bit of floaties in the bottom, just a tiny bit. So I would imagine maybe yours looks like a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
I think I got the dregs too.
So which I would imagine that leads me to think it's bottle conditioned, but I don't think it's any like sour variant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't think it's probably either lacto or PDO?
No, I don't think so.
What about Brett? You think there
I
might be some Brett
think
in it?
there's some in it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
But not enough to make it sour. That sour,
Right.
So when you think about a Brett, the Brettanomyces, you're instantly going to think sour. But I think there's some of the undertones of slight funkiness and slight sourness in this. That's what I'm getting from it.
Okay.
Because I think I have an idea what it is.
Okay. And then the way to put you
Surprise.
bit on the spot, Rich. Do you think this beer is dry hopped?
No,
No. Okay.
based on the aroma
Okay.
I'm getting.
So it sounds like you're picking up more of that kind of fruit aroma, but it's not like a hop fruit.
Right. I mean, I really had to
Yeah.
sniff hard to get some aroma out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this Saison-Brett?
We'll get there. Okay, so then let's get everybody's rating and why. So we'll start with Rich.
An 8. It's a complex beer, and as we were talking before, when I was thinking about my rating, I would definitely recommend this to somebody who's into these kind of styles and such. So it's an 8. It's a good beer.
Okay.
I'm actually liking it more now than when I was initially starting it.
Yeah, I think as it warms up, you get more complexity.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you Brian?
Mark, when I first started drinking, I was thinking it was a high 7. I think it's an 8. I think it's quite, with this style, I think I may not have a whole pint size of it, but it's an interesting taste, and I think it deserves something like an 8 because it's you remember it, but you remember it for good reasons. But it just has just so many qualities to it that makes you pay attention to it, and I like it, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay. And finally, Andrew.
I'm definitely going to give this an 8 as well. The more I drink it, and obviously not knowing what it is, I'm very intrigued by it because there's a lot going on, and I like that. Especially not knowing what it is. Every sip I give, I'm thinking more about it. What am I pulling from it? What could this possibly be? And I like it. This is a
Curiosity factor.
I don't want to say it's a fun this is a good beer that for this style because like with doing a blind taste, it's fun for me to try and really kind of guess and see what I'm pulling from.
Do you want to give it a guess too?
I really wouldn't be able to.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we're ready for the reveal. Okay, and Rich hit it spot on.
Nice.
Saison-Brett, Boulevard Saison-Brett.
Excellent.
I haven't had it this year yet,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
can we see the bottle?
Of course, yeah. My bad.
Awesome.
So
Very
it's,
nice.
Because this beer is so effervescent, it's corked and caged, as you can imagine. So one of the major reasons why I picked this beer is because I think it's one of the exemplars of a hoppy Saison. It's actually dry hopped. It is
Okay.
dry hopped with Amarillo. And they use Magnum as well, but I think that's more for bittering. So American farmhouse and even hoppy Saisons are really becoming quite a popular style. Hill Farmstead does a lot, Tired Hands, Crooked Stave. So I'm going to ask you, Rich, what do you think of this mix of like hoppy Pacific Northwest hops with some of the funk of Brettanomyces? Do you think they complement each other or clash?
No, I do. When I think of a hop Saison, I instantly think of Brooklyn Sriracha Ace.
Sure.
Where
Another good
the
one.
hops, in this case too, they accentuate the beer. But this case with the Brett added to it, I mean, there's a lot going on in this beer, and I think it complements it. There's so much in there, it sounds like, with the dry hopping, with the Brett, and then, with your base malts and bittering hops. It's not easy to make a beer that tastes this good with so many ingredients in it. I think Boulevard's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Andrew picked up too. The bread is all added at bottle conditioning, so it's all finishing.
Okay.
It's not actually fermented with bread at all.
Okay.
But so over time, this will even become more of a Brett forward beer as it sits. So it's definitely something you can age.
What was the IBUs?
38.
Okay.
You're pretty close. So okay, Brian. So this beer is very highly regarded as a 96 on Beer Advocate, 100
Good.
on Rate Beer.
Yeah.
So do you think it lives up to that rating
I
scale?
think so. I think because I'm just slowly getting into the farmhouse styles, and that style of beer really, like I said before, grabs your attention, and kind of what Andrew was saying with just what I kind of summarize as this curiosity factor. There definitely is like these, you definitely get hit with some of that funkiness at the beginning, but I feel like there's this lemony quality trying to come through, and I feel like I want to keep gravitating back to the glass to try to see if it comes through this time. So it's
You've got plenty of room to get it.
I've got plenty. I got the
Keep
size.
going.
I got the size
got mine,
of a nice lemon. To find out when that lemon comes through. But it's the farmhouses are new to me. And it's kind of like when I drink some of the darker beers, getting used to the stouts and stuff. Like this is a curiosity beer, and I like it.
Okay. Okay, and Andrew, finally, can you give me a favorite Saison or brewery that does Saisons?
Honestly, one of my favorite Saisons that I've had, kind of regional, was actually at Burley Oak up in, you like that too, Burley Oak. It was up in Ocean City. They did a rye Saison with rice. And
Is that the Samurai?
Samurai, that's right.
That's a good one.
That is an awesome one. So one of the few that they bottled. But yeah, that I've always appreciated. Like the more I try Saisons and the different Saisons out there, this one to me is almost like a, you know, you can get it all year round, but I see this as being a beer that I could have, especially in the summertime, because it just fits so well. But you get so much good flavor out of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, Boulevard Saison-Brett scores an 8 on the Better Beer Authority scale. Have you had this beer? Have you had other Boulevard beers, in particular Tank 7? And what do you think of them? Do they live up to the hype? Again, this is Mark Nishu concluding for your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority.